On today's show, we'll react to the Ottawa Senators' final NHL roster decisions, and with that, our season preview.
And we'll focus on the Ottawa Senators player projections and the entire NHL season standings.
This is Brady Tkachuk, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
You're Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Ottawa Senators, the only daily podcast covering the Sens. On the outskirts of enemy territory, I'm Ross Levitan, alongside Brandon Piller up in the Blue Mountains. Today is Tuesday, October 7th, and Pillsy, the NHL season begins tonight. Although many Sens fans might say it doesn't actually start until Thursday when the Sens take the ice. But the thing is, we don't even have to play the season. We already know that the Stanley Cup is coming home.
Yeah, Ross, will you allow me to say hockey is back?
Yeah.
Hockey is back. And yeah, everyone knows the most accurate way to project how a season is going to go isn't the athletics models, isn't using stats and numbers or reflecting on last year. It's putting the teams through a simulation in a video game in NHL 26. The score did just that, and that had the Ottawa Senators winning the Stanley Cup, beating the Edmonton Oilers. So no matter what, a Canadian team was going to win in the finals, but the Sens do it. And I believe, Ross, I don't know if you have the article up, but I believe David Perron scores the double overtime winner to get the Sens the cup. So, I mean, I tweeted out seems legit. That's something I can see happening. And Ross, you asked people what's the best case scenario for the Ottawa Senators, and they nailed it, winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Linus Ullmark stopping 48 shots in the Stanley Cup clinching game on the road in Edmonton in double OT. Let's go. So congratulations to the Ottawa Senators, the 2026 Stanley Cup champions, according to EA Sports.
And Locked On Senators.
Yeah, and Locked On Senators. All right.
Here, wait,
we'll get to our predictions. No spoilers on our predictions.
Let me hit the EA Sports in the game. I feel like I could do it good. Are you ready?
Yeah.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
That's okay.
I think I nailed that.
Okay.
I might
People
actually
let us know.
We should bleep that out. We might get copyrighted there.
Yeah, right. No way. Brady was fired up when he got to do that for the deluxe edition. I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes on that. And we got Brady having a hell of a year. We're going to save our point projections, but we tried to do it realistically. We went and we're like, okay, how many goals will the Sens score in total?
Yep.
And then we figured out how we got to that number through each player. We had to do some alternatives once we put the first numbers. A few of them were a little big, but that's okay. That's okay.
Ross, I can't believe we did that sober. I feel like what we did is what guys being dudes at the bar, just like 7 beers deep, being like, all right, let's project every single Ottawa Senators player. And we really had to calm ourselves down because after we did that, we're like, this puts the Ottawa Senators. What was our first projection? Second in goals for or something?
Yeah, it was the third most goals that would have been scored last season, and they would have allowed based on about where we had Ullmark and Merilainen save percentage, like 4th best goals against. But then we had them as redacted. We'll get to our standings predictions later on. But yeah, this is the show for fans by fans, and we like to make it seem like we're sitting at bar stools ourselves, all of us, and just talking about the game and talking about the team. So this is the perfect lead-in then to player projections. But there was news yesterday. We did make shorts after the episode dropped. The final rosters were submitted at 5 o'clock. Ole Lycksell has made the National Hockey League team. He takes the Adam Gaudette path of going on waivers, passing through, and then staying up with the big club. So he won't need waivers for another 30 days. So there's some flexibility there. We'll see what the status of Drake Batherson is. But with Batherson out, it's 13 forwards now, 7 defensemen, and 2 goaltenders. No Carter Yakimchuk. What story do you want to start with? Yakimchuk or Ole Lycksell making this team?
Can I go option C?
Yeah, surprise me.
Donovan Sebrango making this team, and he's likely going to be on opening night roster. Like he's going to play a couple games here with Tyler Kleven out. I really thought Tyler Kleven was going to be ready for the regular season, but maybe this is just a precaution. But This is huge news for Donovan Sebrango. I mean, you got to be stoked that you're making the lineup on opening night. And I liked his training camp. I assume Travis Green and the management did as well to give him this spot. And another surprising factor on that is it appears that Martin Palo is going to be his defense partner, and Jordan Spence will start the season off as a healthy scratch. Now, we don't know that, but just the way things are projected, Ross, that's what it looks like, which is, if you would have told me months ago that Jordan Spence wouldn't be playing first game for this team, I would not have believed you.
I'm choosing not to believe it until it's officially official. It just makes no sense. Now, I'm trying to put my feet in Travis Green's shoes and try to figure out why would he do such a peculiar move. And I've realized he's coaching to match the other team. He's not coaching to make the Senators the best version of themselves. Those are two heavy teams in Florida that are going to come at you in waves. And I guess his thought process is that Martin Palo is more suited to be a physical presence and box out in front of his own net. I think it's the wrong decision, but I'm trying to figure it out. And that to me is the only thing that could even make a sliver of sense. I don't think it's as egregious as healthy scratching Artem Zub for a long time when he started out. The DJ
especially
Smith
with
special.
that decor.
Yeah. Hey, sorry. Josh Brown's just scratching the surface. We got to get him in there. Erica Branson, who knows what we have?
Yeah. How many cross checks can you get in a night? Unlimited.
Wasn't Braden Coburn playing for them, or they got him mid-season, I think?
All of those type of defensemen are so blurred in my mind, so I don't know.
Amazing. But yes, I think that would be a mistake if Jordan Spence isn't in the lineup for opening night on Thursday at home. On the road, rather. Sorry, getting excited.
Yes.
Maybe at home is when Spence will make his debut. But with Sebrango, happy for him. I just think that whether it's Sebrango or Clevin, it would be better to have a puck mover on the other side and allow Sebrango, Clevin to be the defenseman.
Last year, Travis Green didn't mind having Clevin and Martin Palo as a pair, right? So that kind of points towards his decision-making that goes into this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have a problem with that. If it is the case, the Senators have a full day off. Full day off for Ottawa today. So they'll be back on the ice tomorrow for practice before heading out to Tampa to start the season. Carter Yakimchuk doesn't make the team. He goes to Belleville. I think it's going to be awesome for him down there. There's an offensive flair when you look at Halliday and Kaliev going down. I think they're going to be able to click on the power play. And now you've got Carter Yakimchuk as the no doubt number one offensive defenseman down there. No disrespect to Hamara or Jorian Donovan, but
Thompson
or Lassie Thompson, sure. And he was great in the Swedish league last year offensively, but the offense, it has to run through Yakimchuk. And that's a lot of pressure for a just turned 20-year-old. But I'm excited to see, man. There's a big reason to be watching Belleville Sens games start the season to see how Yak adjusts.
Yeah, I've been saying this all along. I shouldn't say that because part of me thought that Yak should start some games with Jensen out.
Excited watching him play. He's just fun.
Totally. But the right move and the right development path is to have Yakimchuk playing as much as possible. And the best way to do that is to have him in Belleville. I think it's huge. And I've talked about this too. Belleville needed a shiny prospect to sell some tickets and get some butts and seats at CAA Arena. So like you mentioned, if you're in the Bay of Quinte area, get to CAA Arena and watch Carter Yakimchuk while you can.
What, Stephen Halliday's red hair isn't shiny enough for you?
No, Stephen Halliday's great, but you want to see those top prospects that are there, and
those first round picks.
Those two are going to make magic. I see Ben Kindle, Carter Yakimchuk chemistry with Halliday and Yak on the power play.
Dude, quickly before we move on, because NHL rosters are finalized across the league. The two guys we were high on, and Ben Kindle went even higher than we were high on him.
Yes, yep.
Made their NHL teams. Ben Kindle and Braden Coots made the Vancouver Canucks, and that's awesome.
I'm not entirely surprised that Ben Kindle did, Ross. First off, that's the only team in the NHL that's actively trying to be bad and get younger and rebuild. And I was about to say reached on Ben Kindle. They were aggressive with where they drafted Ben Kindle. Everybody knows I was a Kindle guy. I wanted him. I love the way he plays. So I'm not surprised that they're giving him this opportunity.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids making the league all across the NHL. I think you look at Detroit's got, I think, 4 rookies on their team.
Who's that Finney kid that's playing on the top line? I never heard of him.
7th round pick. Apparently,
Yeah.
he just came out of camp and just looked unbelievable.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, our buddies over at Locked On Red Wings will be all over that storyline, but
Yeah.
I think it's cool. We'll get to the standings predictions. No spoilers. Detroit is going to stink this year. That's all I got to say about that. On the other side, though, we're going to get to the Ottawa Senators player projections. We've got a graphic with the point totals that we've come up with, and we've broken it down with goals and assists. So stay tuned for that. Then we'll get to our standings prediction. The NHL starts tonight with 3 games. We'll tell you who they are next. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The NFL season's here, and FanDuel's making sure you're ready for kickoff with the can't-miss offer. If you're not joined into FanDuel already, no worries, because right now is a great time to join. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love FanDuel, Ross loves FanDuel, and you should too, because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, same game parlays, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. Now, obviously, NFL action is exciting, but it's the NHL opening night. There's 3 games on tap tonight. You can bet on the Florida Panthers on their banner raising night to have a big game. And if you want to bet on playoff baseball, the Jays are back in action. Can they close things out against the Yankees in the Bronx? If you're going to do it, though, do it on the best sportsbook app, FanDuel. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to all your sporting events. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
All right, Billsy. So the NHL, those schedulers extraordinaire, they are raising the banner of the Stanley Cup champions at 4:45 p.m. Eastern on a Tuesday night. Feel the excitement. The NHL season is back now. Maybe it's be in your seats by 5, and then they'll do it. It's still a bit goofy to me on a 9-to-5ers work day here right at the very end. But the Florida Panthers,
People don't work in Florida,
will be hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. That's a 4:00 game for Chicago fans to start their season at on a Tuesday. And the Cubs are in the playoffs. Everything's going on. This time of year is great. Then you got the New York Rangers hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins, followed late night. The LA Kings taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Pills, you have those 3 games. Which one are you most excited to tune into?
Not gonna lie, kind of a lame trio. I guess Florida, Chicago, just because it's the Stanley Cup banner, and we'll see how good Florida is with those major injuries in Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov, because we've got Florida coming up soon. So that's the only one that really interests me. Like Pittsburgh, New York, why? I don't know. Why even bother with that one? And LA, Colorado, kind of lame as well. So the NHL could have done better here. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and I've banged this drum all summer, but I'll do it one last time.
Okay.
The banner should go up in front of a rematch of the Stanley Cup Final so that the other team has to watch the banner go up.
I don't know if the Oilers and their fan base could handle that. My God, that might just break them. But I like that. The NFL used to do that. Game 1 was always the Super Bowl rematch. So I'm down with that.
I think it's a fantastic way to put a bow on last season and give that team that lost some extra motivation as they have to watch it skate around one more time.
I mean, at the very least, put rivals up against each other. Like Florida, Chicago, that's nothing unless you want to really highlight the Seth Jones trade. New York, Pittsburgh, who cares? Colorado, LA.
Everybody wants to highlight the Seth Jones trade.
That's the only one I could think of. Like what other
Spencer Knight revenge game, dude? Let's go.
That is part of this.
I know
Seth Jones trade.
But he had his time in the sun, literally. Yep. Spencer Knight needs to find his shining light. Yeah. So can it happen? Did I just cut an ESPN promo for tonight?
Yeah, out of the sun, and now he is the Dark Knight.
Can he get through the wind? In Chicago. Let's go. All right. Ottawa Senators player projections for this season.
Here we go.
How do you want to do this?
I can't decide if people are gonna love this, be like, man, you guys nailed it, or be like, you're way off, either high or low. But this is a form of a list, so get mad at our list however you like. But
So you want me to just pull up the whole list and then we go through it?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. Because there's no like spoilers or whatever. It is what it is, and we're not gonna. We are gonna name off probably every single one. That's how we do it here on Locked On Senators. But this is who we expect the Ottawa Senators point totals to look like. Now, let's talk about the team first, as people can kind of ingest all of this information here on the graphic. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Appreciate that. We've got the Ottawa Senators finishing with 98 points on the season in the first wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. That record would be 46, 31, and 6. We have a total here of 271 goals scored, which would be 7th in the National Hockey League. It's a high
based
jump
on last year's goals for.
Based on last year's goals. So is scoring going to be up across the league? I really hope it is in the nation's capital, because they didn't score enough at 5-on-5 last year. The power play was good, but not excellent. I think that there is still a step up to be had in both of those categories. So if you didn't realize when you tuned into Locked On Senators, we are going to probably be on the higher end for a lot of these players, but I truly believe there is some realism in here as we kind of try to not only figure out what the total amount of goals the team will score, but then we multiplied them all by 2 so that that's the maximum amount of assists the team could have. And then we took off about 60 because you don't get 2 assists on every single goal. So we tried to make it at least somewhat realistic here. And we've got Tim Stützle leading the team in scoring once again with 88 points. Not quite back to that 90-point level he got to 3 seasons ago. But I think, again, this is a higher end of the normal range without going out of control.
I think the question everybody wants to know, Ross, is of those 88 points, how many are goals?
50.
I had to talk Ross off the ledge on that one. Or not off the ledge, off the clouds.
Not 50. I was trying to push for 40. 40 to me, and when we did our show there, organizational value rankings, the final guys, I had Timmy at 41 goals. That's where I have him. But this is the show projection, so I'm taking your control here too. We bumped him to 31 goals, 57 assists, and this would be the 4th year in a row if he gets 57 assists, where he would be setting a career high in assists. So we think it's going to slightly tick up. We think the goal scoring is going to come with more shooting, but I still think that's a modest projection with 31 goals. I think he could easily pop off for more than 35.
Agreed. I mean, he scored 39 in his career, so it definitely could happen. I'm not fully convinced Timmy's committing to shooting just yet.
No,
the preseason didn't give me confidence that he's going to change his style. But again, that's not a bad thing. Tim Stützle is a playmaker first, in my opinion. He has a great shot, but he's Jason Spezza-esque. Wants to pass that puck, wants to set teammates up, even though he doesn't quite utilize the shot that he has.
Another sick passer, but can also put it in the back of the net. Drake Batherson, we have finishing 2nd on this team in points with 75. And stay tuned for our Hot Takes episode tomorrow, because I might go back to the well with something I've been cooking for years on this show. But as a group, we have decided 75 points for Drake Batherson. That would be 30 goals and 45 assists that we're looking at. Career high in goals, but modest improvement. I think he went from 26 to 28, and now we're looking for a 30-goal season for Drake Batherson.
Yep. He's going to follow his trend and continue to increase his point totals.
He did, though. Yes, that's where I messed up. He went from 66 to 68 points. He actually went from 28 to 26 goals, not the other way around. So we're looking to get back on track here, up to 30.
Yes, sir. Yep. And Brady Tkachuk with 71 points. If he's healthy, there's no reason why he can't get this. Brady Tkachuk is a very consistent player, and throughout his career, he hasn't missed many games. So I think this is another one where 71 points might be low, because Brady Tkachuk in his career, he hit 83 in 2022, 2023. So That's math guy. 12 less points we're projecting him here than his career high. So I wouldn't be surprised if he meets somewhere in the middle there.
And 16 more points than he had last season when he was dealing with injuries down the stretch. For Brady, though, I'd love him to be a plus double-digit player, 100-plus PIMs, 250-plus shots on goal. I just want him to stuff the stat sheet this season.
He will.
And I would love to see 40 goals for the first time in his career. But we have him projected at 35. Credit to us for being so objective and modest. Mm-hmm. Jake Sanderson, 67 points.
Yeah, I mean, if Sanderson doesn't start the first, 30 games off, and he wasn't just average, he wasn't just not good, I think it's kind of fair to say he was bad to start the year. Like, he was not himself at all. So if he can start off at a more average pace and then get to where he finished the season, there's no reason why he can't get into the 60s in points for sure.
We were fighting a little bit on the amount of goals that Jake Sanderson will finish the season with. I just think that his ability to get pucks through from the points, it's just so impressive that I don't see a world where he finishes with under 16 goals. He had 11 last year, 10 the year before. I just think it's going to continue to climb and climb. I'm not saying he's getting to Cale Makar's 30 anytime soon, but I do think that when Jake Sanderson is in his prime from, let's say, 25 to 31 years old, around then, I think we're going to see him hit 20 goals in multiple seasons. I don't think he's quite there yet. I'm not going to hot take that this year. Maybe we'll save it for 26, 27. But I think Jake Sanderson has the opportunity here to explode offensively, knowing that he's got a reliable partner next to him for 82 games.
Yeah, I am not trying to put a ceiling on Jake Sanderson's potential.
Sounds like you are.
No, I'm not. Then I'm not trying to do that. So if I am, I apologize. But I think 67 points as a defenseman is very good.
Yeah. Where do you think that would have finished last season by a defenseman?
Top 10. Right?
Oh, easily top 10. He was 10th with 57 points.
Okay, I'll say 6th.
6th is almost correct. 67 points would have had him tied with Evan Bouchard last season.
Okay, cool.
Behind Rasmus Dahlin, Quinn Hughes, Zach Werenski, and Cale Makar.
Okay.
And 1 point ahead of Hedman and Hudson. So there you have it. Jake Sanderson, 67 points. And I want to see in the comments too on YouTube, overs or unders. Pretend these are the FanDuel betting lines. I want you to say over under on each player, what we have projected for them there.
Or
Dylan
at least the ones you feel strong about.
Yeah. Dylan Cousins, 62 points. Shane Pinto, 52 points. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to be separated by less than 10 points. That's going to be one of my takes here.
Okay. I think for me, Dylan Cousins has to find a way to get to 60 points. That, like, a lot of people we've talked to, Ross, have had Dylan Cousins as their X factor player, and I tend to agree with them because if he has a down year, that's really going to affect the middle of this lineup. Like, we know the top guys are going to produce, as we've had all 4 players putting up good numbers ahead of him, but I think he needs to find a way to get to 60 points. Whatever that split is, I'm not too bothered, but that's the goal for me.
Yeah, I'm very, very on board with that. But again, I think Shane Pinto can get 60 points as well. So that's why I think they're going to be separated by fewer than that. We've got Thomas Chabot and Fabian Zetterlund tied with 46 points. Claude Giroux at 45. David Perron at 38. Ridley Gregg at 37. And the one thing we knew going into this is we were going to figure out a way for Michael Amadio to get 27 points. Why?
This will be the 3rd consecutive year, or is it 4th even?
I think it might be 4.
Yeah, 4th consecutive year where he gets 27 points. So put in pen, Michael Amadio. Put in a computer graphic and post it online that Michael Amadio will get 27 points.
Yeah, he's had exactly 27 points in his last 3 straight years combined. We've got Jordan Spence, if the coach ever plays him, at 23 points. Lars Eller at 19. Artem Zub at 17. Nick Jensen at 16. Tyler Klevin at 11. Klevin 11.
Woo.
Nick Cousins at 8. Ole Lixell at 5, Arthur Kaliev at 4, and Pilsy, you were very specific about Kaliev's 4 points.
Yes, he will get 3 goals, 1 assist, but all 3 goals will come in one game. And Arthur Kaliev hat trick up against the LA Kings.
Oh, revenge game.
Yes,
We like that. Nicholas Mattenpalo with 3 points, Donovan Sebrango with 2, and we've got a tie with 1 point. Linus Ullmark and Curtis McDermott. Let's go.
Yes, Linus Ullmark will assist on an overtime winning goal, just like he did last year, and Curtis McDermott will have the puck shot off his helmet and in.
That's
for his
very, very high up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he'll be down cross-checking someone, so he'll be a little lower. Yeah.
I love that. We'll do goaltending projections next. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Indeed. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates and fast? It's easy, guys. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page to help you reach the right candidate faster. If you've had a business, I'm sure you've been in that spot where you need that hire like yesterday. The pressure's on, and every day without that right person is setting your business back. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs comes in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. Now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on the Locked On Senators podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need.
All right, Billsy, we are halfway through the projections of the Ottawa Senators season going into 2026. Holy smokes, I can't believe it's almost 2026. Let's get to the goaltenders, and we know that the duo will be Linus Ullmark and Levi Merilainen this season. One of, I think, the most critical pieces of the puzzle this season is Linus Ullmark's health. And sure, there should be a level of confidence in Levi based on his play last season, but I'm not trying to get to a 50-50 split, even close. Ullmark has to be the guy. And I think he needs to play over 50 games this season for the first time in his career.
Agreed. Yeah. And this is what Ullmark wanted. He was sick of being stuck in tandem situations. This is what the Ottawa Senators acquired and paid him for. His new extension kicks in this season. So let's see it. I mean, Ullmark had stretches where he literally put this team on his back and was winning games. And every game that you had Ullmark in seemed like an automatic W. And then he had some stinkers as well. So I think he's going to improve on last year, partly because I'm hoping that he's healthier and the team has improved as well. So I think Ullmark is going to he's going to be a big reason why the Ottawa Senators have success this season.
And if he plays 51 games, we have him at 29 wins, 15 losses, and 4 overtime losses, a .267 goals against average, a .913 save percentage, and 5 shutouts. That's where we're going with Linus Ullmark, and that assist that he has to have at least one of.
Yep, he's going to get that assist. I can't wait for it.
Now with Levi Merilainen, that leaves 27 games because we think that they're going to overlap a few games, whether a guy gets pulled, knock on wood, injured. 9 games for the third goalie, but we got Merilainen, 27 games, 14 wins, 10 losses, 2 overtime losses, a .283 goals against average, a .907 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. So we didn't want to put too much pressure. This kid is just 23 years old and has like 17 NHL games under his belt. But there has to be a level of confidence, of course, based on just being a stud last season. So I think that these are reasonable and fair. And if the Senators can do that, they'll give themselves a really good chance for success.
Yeah, the Ottawa Senators have had a team where for a couple years now, if they just found ways to get average goaltending, they would be so much better than the positions they've been in. So now you've got a duo in Ullmark and Merilainen that you believe in. I think as long as they can put up those numbers, which are good, but not like crazy out of this world, this team can have success. I'm hoping Merilainen can be better than what we project, but I really pushed Ross to be conservative on Merilainen because we don't want to have the expectations too high.
And the LOSB stats department is on vacation here as we're just pulling up our back of the napkin numbers here that we did to get to our projections. So this would give the Ottawa Senators 330 goal scorers. They had 0 last season. It would give the Ottawa Senators 6 20-plus goal scorers. And it would create a level of depth that we haven't seen before with, holy smokes, we would have double-digit 10-goal scorers this season. If you're looking at Chabot and Sanderson contributing 10-plus goals on the back end, this is best case scenario. But I do think there's enough talent on the Ottawa Senators that they can produce this type of results. And they're going to have to show up. They're going to have to show up right when the puck drops on Thursday. There can't be a dip your toe. Oh, let's take the first 10 games and see how it goes, and then we'll go from there. No, November is coming. You have to get to November with a good record, and then we will worry about November, which has been a problem for the last 150,000 years. I've never enjoyed November. It gets chilly. It gets dark early. Does the time change in November? I think it does. We even lose an hour in November.
Well, you did have a bright spot last November.
Yeah, that was at the end of it. I had to wait through the entire month first.
Better late than never.
It's a great point, though. Lily, if you're listening to this, I love you. Time change. November 2nd. Yeah, you get to November, and they're like, yeah, daylight savings.
Yeah, darkness, depression,
brutal,
pain.
Speaking of darkness and depression, let's get to our standings projections, and I'm going to say it right now. The Detroit Red Wings are going to finish last in the Atlantic Division.
Wow, I don't know about that.
Last.
Well, okay, you said it again and louder, so you got me. Yeah, I'm with you now.
That's how you win an argument.
That's how you win. Yeah, I got no comeback for that. So yes.
Geez, he's serious.
Last.
Oh, jeepers. Yeah, I think the Red Wings stink. Unless they get 2015 to 2017 John Gibson in net.
Their season will hinge entirely and directly based on how long Hamonic is a top 4 defenseman.
I can't believe he made that team.
Yep.
When I reached out to Locked On Red Wings boys after he signed, I was like, good luck with that. And he goes, don't worry. It's just a depth move for Grand Rapids. I said, no, I don't think so.
We've been there before. We've heard that. Yeah. Oh,
we've been there. Guys. Yeah. Great mentor, though. Great mentor.
And look, we may not love the Red Wings team, but Locked On Red Wings, good guys over there.
Yeah. Oh, they're beauties. But I just think that the Red Wings, they're at the point in the rebuild now where I don't know if they're rushing, because they historically have never rushed prospects. They're very patient with them. But they got like 7 Steve Yzerman draft picks in the lineup this year. And to me, hey, this is a guy there's starting to be some frustration. So I feel like there's a part of it where it's like, go look at Axel Sandin Pellikka. Go look at Michael Brandsegg-Nygaard. Like, these are good prospects that we have. They're going to make the team. I drafted them. Credit, please, because we've been underachieving and we got the second longest playoff drought after Buffalo.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm a big Marco Kasper guy. Look out for him.
Yeah, good player. Very good player. But I got Detroit finishing last in the division, Pillsy. Just slightly, maybe 1 point lower than where I have the Boston Bruins.
Okay. Boston is my last place team. They got no clue what they're doing over there. They're not quite rebuilding and they're not contending. Yeah, not a good time for Boston.
I think that's a tier. I think Buffalo is actually, they're getting closer. The goaltending obviously is a huge question mark. They're soft on the blue line. Is Kesselring going to change the dynamic a little bit, adding a righty and maybe getting away from the power Byrams of the world playing way too much together even? Dahlin, stud. Like, best defenseman in the division. I think
we had him number 1.
Yeah, he's unreal. But they just need to grow. Like, they've got all these great names, like love Zach Benson, love Jack Quinn, love Peyton Krebs, but they haven't shown it enough at the NHL level. And you can even throw Josh Doan, who came over in that Peterka trade as well, as a guy who we think has more to give. Tage Thompson, elite. Like, I think they're closer to Montreal than they are to Boston and Detroit.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm also a big Alex Tuck guy as well. So they have a nice forward roster and a decent decor, but the goaltending, I don't know if UPL and Alex Lyon are going to get them where they need to go.
Yeah, I got Montreal like 1 point out of the playoffs. I think this is the year before the problem starts for Montreal.
Yep, agreed. I got Montreal missing this year, mostly because I just loathe them entirely, not really based on stats or how good I actually think they could be, but I want them to get as close as possible to making the playoffs and then have their heart ripped out of their chest.
My storyline for them to watch is how quickly the fan base turns on Noah Dobson with 8 years left at 9.5 on his deal.
Yeah, you hate Noah Dobson. I think he's gonna have a big bounce back year.
We'll see.
But yeah, we'll see, and we'll see how good Lane Hudson's dad can get his new contract.
Oh yeah, Paul Hudson will start calling him. Paul Marner was a big part of that negotiation. I got Ottawa ahead of Montreal as the first wild card. Then I have Toronto third in the division, Florida second, and Tampa first. The reason being, those three, they're the three until they're not.
Agreed. Yeah, I have Tampa, Toronto, Florida, just because those injuries to Florida, I think, are going to weigh heavily on them. And Florida does not give a damn where they finish. They could be the second wild card team getting in game 82, and they're feeling great about that. Once they get to the playoffs, they know how to figure it out. I hate to say this, but as a Marner hater, it goes with my brand. I think the Leafs have a better team this year than they did with Marner.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't. But that's why you play the game. So we'll see how it goes. That's the Atlantic Division, obviously the one we're going to focus the most on. Our full lists are available on Twitter at Sens Central. But give me your playoff teams on both sides. So give me your playoff teams in the Metro and then the Western Conference.
Metro. Got it. I got Carolina first, New Jersey second, Washington third, and the New York Rangers as the second wildcard team. I considered putting Washington as a wildcard team. I think they're frauds. I think they way overachieved last year. They are going to make the playoffs, but like if round one we're picking opponents, I said it last year, I would love to play the Washington Capitals in the playoffs round one. A little capital city on capital city. Get those Canada USA tensions going. I would way rather play them than the Leafs, or if the Habs find a way to prove us wrong and make it the Habs. That's for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Why? Because the result last year?
Yeah, and just the fan base thing, like we don't need that. It'd be nice to carve a different story in the playoffs. We've played the Leafs and the Habs so many times in the playoffs. It just would be nice to get a fresh look.
Yeah. We'll see them in round two, right?
Who?
The Habs at least.
Probably not.
I'm going to go with my Metropolitan Division rankings. Carolina 1, Washington 2, New Jersey 3, and I think Columbus makes the playoffs as the second wild card team. In the West, I've got Colorado, Winnipeg, Dallas, and Utah as my first wild card. And then I got Vegas, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Anaheim with my second wild card. So my quote-unquote hot take would be that the Los Angeles Angels. I'm on such a heater betting baseball right now on FanDuel. Hey, it also just means the city of Angels. Los Angeles.
Well, the Los Angeles Angels
of Anaheim.
Well, no,
that was their team name for a while.
I'm pretty sure it literally translates to the Angels. The Angels isn't Los Angeles in Spanish. The Angels.
That's what. Yeah.
The Angels.
Ciudad is city. So there you go.
No.
Los Angeles Kings. Angels. Both majestic, no?
Yes, definitely. I think you're crazy about Utah. Look, I love what they're building there, but a goaltending tandem of Vamelka and Vitek Vanacek is getting you nowhere. Vitek Vanacek might as well chalk up an L every single start he gets.
Stanley Cup champion, dude.
Yeah. I can't believe that they're comfortable going into the season with that.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but I do think that they have enough offense. They're just going to be a fun team to watch. They'll be a team I'm going to be tracking a lot, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if they get in too. So that's our season preview. Let us know in the comments below if you disagree, agree, and give me your Stanley Cup Final. I'm curious to hear that as well. Plus over-unders on those Senators total points that we have concluded. Pillsy, any final thoughts on today's show?
No, enjoy the NHL being back. Those exciting matchups that we previewed, so sweet.
And go Jays.
And yeah, go Jays.
Oh, I got a final thought.
Oh, hit me.
Go check out our boys over at Locked On Blue Jays. We
Big
got
time.
them the jobs over at Locked On Jays. I worked with Braden at CJOB here in Winnipeg. He's a beauty. These guys are as passionate as they come for the Jays, and go check them out. Hit subscribe and show them some love. Hit them with the Go Baseball Sens in their comments. Let's get some of that going.
Yep. Boom.
Beauty. All right, that's it for us today. Tomorrow, our hot takes episode. The regular season is coming soon. We'll also have practice updates. Again, today was a full day off for Ottawa, but tomorrow, what will the lines look like? Please do not scratch Jordan Spence. Do not make me pull my hair out before the season even starts. Hot take episode tomorrow, and then it is time for the puck to drop on Thursday. Senators, Lightning from Tampa. And my final thought, Tampa's going to be without J.J. Moser, suspended for that preseason incident the other night. He's top 4 defenseman for those Bolts. So an opportunity for Ottawa potentially to jump on them early. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Thank you for liking, watching, listening, and engaging with the show. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcast. This has been another edition of Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.